In this episode, we are going to discuss what is data governance really and why it matters.
What I find when I'm working with customers, what's most useful is to think of data governance as merely making sure our data is protected and in a condition useful for targeted business initiatives and applications. Instead of simply talking about who gets to make what decision about data and what policies do we need to create, we instead start from what we're actually going to do with the data. What applications are we trying to build? And when you figure out what applications you're trying to build and the data that's required to meet the needs of those applications, then you're going to ask, okay, is the quality of the data correct? What kind of sensitive data are we implementing? And therefore, what specific actions do I need to take to ensure the readiness of the data and protecting it for the purpose, and that's the important part, for the purpose of the specific targeted applications. And that's the part that I think is really missing in a lot of the standard definitions.
Great, but what is the way that you described it? It's different, but how does it make it practical?
Yeah, so the practical part is if I'm working with customers who are, for example, trying to mature their data governance program. We're at a data quality maturity level of 2.3 and we need to get to a maturity level of 3.5. Okay, that's very nice. It's a good goal, but is it practical? Practical in the sense that it accomplished some business purpose that we care about. If instead I can help that customer point to a specific business initiative, maybe they're trying to improve their supply chain, maybe the customer is trying to change their customer experience, then the practical part is the specific application that I'm doing to accomplish those business goals, they're all going to require data. So if, for example, I'm doing a product recommendation for my customer experience, well, I know I'm going to need good customer data. I'm going to need to have good purchase history. I'm going to need to know a lot of things that can influence that product recommendation engine. So that's where it becomes practical. It is interesting to be able to assess the maturity and improve the maturity of the program, but it becomes much more practical when you're simply pointing to the data that's needed to support the targeted applications. And then so when you ask, like, what are the steps? So step one, of course, is going to be, what are those targeted applications that I'm supporting? It may be one, it may be many. I'm talking about a business application that's actually going to be used to support some business needs. And then I'm going to ask what data is going to be needed to support that specific application. Then where data governance comes in is, okay, what is the condition of the data? What am I worried about in terms of the condition of that data? There may be timeliness issues. There may be quality concerns. Maybe I have customer data scattered across a bunch of different data sources that need to be pulled together. There may be completeness issues. Maybe I need better address and phone number information for my customers. Finding those specific issues and understanding the implications of those issues for the targeted applications. And then I ask, okay, what kind of actions can I take to solve those issues? And that's where we have IT and the business working together. So I need somebody from the business, we call that person a data steward. And then we have somebody from IT working together to directly solve those issues. And then, by the way you solve those issues, you then increase your maturity. So instead of targeting the maturity of your organization as the primary goal, you're targeting the success of applications as your primary goal. And by the way you address the problems, you're going to ultimately build capabilities that are quite reusable. So data profiling, data quality rules monitoring, master data management, and so on. You'll find that you'll need these things for the targeted applications, but you'll also find that those same capabilities will be reusable for future use cases as well. The reason this is practical is because you're supporting the business applications that themselves have direct business value. So by making sure that the data is in a condition necessary to support the needs of those applications, number one, you're providing very direct business value because you're supporting the value of applications. But secondly, by the way you position the underlying capabilities, you're doing it in a manner that it's highly reusable. So you end up with data governance capabilities that can be useful across the organization. A lot of our companies that we work with I mentioned that they're discovering these issues because of new initiatives like generative AI. And then they will all of a sudden see data governance as a prerequisite to their program. And what we really try to encourage is don't think of it as a prerequisite. Think of it as a co-requisite, meaning I'm going to build a little piece of my data governance program just in time and just enough to support the initiatives that we're after.
That's great. Thanks, Kevin.
Sure thing, Abbas.
Awesome. Today we talked about data governance. In the next episode, we will define AI governance in a practical way. To learn more about data and AI governance, check out Amazon's SageMaker catalog. Until then, see you next time.